So I'm playing on chess.com. This has a new interface. Here we got a game. And I'm trying it out. I think it's pretty nice. I've played on chess.com for a while here. I'm going for a Sicilian. And but I never uploaded too many of the games because they always had this big display ad over here. And so I'll go for a classical Sicilian. And, it's a pain to have to edit the image afterwards to delete the ad. I didn't like having the ad in my videos. So that's why I didn't play much or didn't record many of the videos that I played on chess.com. So this is a funny kind of C3 Sicilian where it's kind of a delayed C3 where he puts the knight out first and then plays C3. I'm not really attacking this pawn because if you take the pawn, the queen check picks up the knight. So it looks like I'm attacking the pawn, but it's not yet under attack, not until I play this move. And now I'm actually threatening to take that pawn. A lot of times I'll play with the bishop and do this kind of snake maneuver with the bishop, but he just defended with the pawn here. Anyway, what should I play in this situation? I could go with the fianchetto here, maybe try and get some pressure on the dark squared diagonal. This knight is already looking at those squares. One thing I like about chess.com is that they have a auto pairing pool which has a increment. It's got I'm playing this with the 5-minute pool with the 5-second increment, and whereas on ICC the auto pairings, most of them only have they have no delay. It's strictly 5 minutes, and that just interferes with the game, in my opinion. I like to have that increment. They do have slower time controls. There's like a 25-minute control with a 10-second increment. That's a FIDE rapid time control, and they have a pool for that. But that's not very active, and it's kind of a slowish game for recording purposes. So I have been talking too much and not paying attention to the opening. I think he's preparing to castle kingside. So I'll go ahead and castle kingside too. Okay, he's not making a commitment. So this is a closed Sicilian. He hasn't fianchettoed the bishop, though. They sometimes do that in the closed Sicilian. Can I play d5 here, or can I build up to it? If I play d5, if he takes, that's okay. I can take back with the knight and open up the bishop. If he doesn't take, though, and pushes, how about if I play my queen here? And then maybe I can play d5, and if he pushes, I can actually take the pawn. That leaves my c-pawn hanging when I play d5. Okay, so I'm still trying to prepare. D5 here, open up some lines for my bishops. And now he has to take or push, or I will take. Either way, looks like he was prepared for that, but maybe didn't notice that I had prepared that too. He can try and pin my knight. I'm just noticing this now, but fortunately I escape with a check on his knight. So let's go ahead and do that. Faradosh, 1633. Actually, he's higher rated than me. Interesting. Seems like kind of a simple mistake, but maybe that's an example of just moving too quickly. But he just lost a pawn for no particular reason that I can see. He could have taken. He didn't have to push. So, well, this leaves me with pawns that he can target. I'll say that in his favor. So, yeah, he's going after the c-pawn immediately. See, if I push forward to c5, c4 rather, his knight can hop in here, hitting my bishop, and I'll have this backwards, well, he'll have this hold that he can exploit. So maybe there's some clever way to defend that pawn. Knight to d7 or knight to e5, e4. He probably will just take it. Let's do knight d7. It's like a backwards move, but on the other hand, it opens up the diagonal for the bishop, and maybe prepares e4. Aha, he just took there. Oh, of course, I undefended the d pawn when I played that. So now he's going to get the queen out. How annoying. Well, now there's no reason not to push this pawn forward. It doesn't leave any backwards pieces anywhere. And see where his knight goes. See, his knight could try and attack my queen, taking advantage of my, the queen, try and prove the queen is overloaded, defending the knight, but just playing here is all right, isn't it? Isn't that all right? Hits the knight, defends the pawn, defends my knight. And I can play rook to, hitting my knight again, hitting my pawn again. Yeah, let's defend that c-pawn. I kind of like it. And as long as I got hold of that c-pawn, his b-pawn is backwards here, and maybe I can pile up pressure on that. And so he's going for the knight. So the knight is defended, and if he trades it off, he can take my pawn. I will trade. Gosh, his knight will defend everything when he takes with the knight. Bad luck for me. If he takes with the queen, I can still take the pawn, so I think he has to take with the knight. If he wants to grab that pawn, yeah, then I'll retreat. And well, I'll bring a rook over to c8. Yeah, put some pressure on that knight. Ask it where it wants to go, and try and keep the tension on these queenside pawns here. So he's one pawn up. Let's see. Yeah, if I play that, it walks into this knight to d5. So I don't want to allow knight to d5. So I want to play rook here. He's going to play rook to... okay, I'll go here anyway. He's threatening to bring his rook into d7. That would be annoying. So if I double my rooks on the b file, then I'm threatening to take on c3, because I'll have the pin on the b pawn, as well as threatening to take on b2. And when he pushes the b pawn forward, my bishop is looking at c3. So I still have some pressure for the pawn. Okay, so he defends c3. I double. He plays b5, I guess. Or maybe he's just preparing to double. Let's see. But he did leave the rook undefended on the back rank. So bishop takes c3. What happens? Rook takes, queen takes, pawn takes, rook takes, check. So I get two rooks, but I lose the bishop as well as the... I get two rooks, but I lose the bishop as well as the queen. So that's not helping. Okay. I'm going to give my king another square to run to in case he tries to do something to the back rank there. See how he wants to unwind from his situation on the queen side. He should be able to do it somehow, I think. Yeah, I was wondering if he would do that. So now he really is threatening to come down here, and he's just giving up this pawn. And well, he could win that pawn too. Let's be adventurous here. Let's take a pawn. Okay, so what's he doing now? Oh, he's just grabbing there. So I need to defend. Need to defend the f pawn. And this pawn is still hanging. Okay, that I see his rook, his knight. His knight defends that pawn. So well, let's go here and try and get a rook to the back rank. See if he wants to go for the endgame. He's got two weak pawns, but they're both passed. That might be a winning endgame for him anyway. But I have the bishop versus the knight. So he does go for the endgame. And yeah, he's going to trade off one pair of rooks. Let's go for the pawn. I didn't think that was so great. I'm not sure what he's doing here. He's giving up a pawn. Okay. And then he's going to just push that home. But my king is nearby here. So I don't think there's a big problem. He's subtly threatening the back rank there. Okay. That gets my rook away from his knight. There's many moves between the rook and the knight now. So how about I just try and win that pawn? Knight checks here and here are not a problem. Rook covers that square. Pawns cover that square. So I don't think he's holding on to his pawn here. Yeah, so he goes after my pawns. Very logical. Let's defend these guys. Okay, so if I push, he takes, I take, he takes. He gets that outside passed pawn. Let's not help him too much. Let's just take here now. And then, is there something I can do to trap his rook? Not seeing it. Here, let's get the rook a little bit further away. He has this check now. Didn't play it. Okay, so he goes for this anyway. Oh, he goes for the rook. I thought he was going to take with the pawn. Okay, let's put the rook here. Maybe he wants to control this square, so I can't play bishop to d4 there. I want to attack his knight while this pawn is pinned. And I can't easily step forward. Oh, I can step forward to this square. Yeah, that's not so helpful. Let's go back with the king. If I step forward, he can just check me and drive me away. So I'm going to get over in front of these pawns. That's, I think, the correct thing to do here. Okay, let's see if we can trade off that nasty knight. So where can the knight go? The knight has moves. So he's just going to let me trade it, okay? So I'm going to just defend along the 4th rank here. I don't think he can make any progress. I don't think I have much to play for here. But I don't think he can do anything either. We'll see. So there it is, finally pushing that pawn forward. Okay, so let's run here with the pawn. Let's think. Yeah, I have a pawn too, so I should try and find some way to use it, but I'm not seeing it right now. I think I bring the rook back here. Maybe that's the way to do it. Check his king from behind. Drive it in front of the pawn, and then start pushing this pawn forward. And he threatens mate there. That's annoying. So this is where I should be on the 3rd rank, and I'm not. Let's see, let's go here. If he pushes the pawn forward, then I check from behind. That's the 3rd, that's the one of the defenses. If he brings the king forward, then I have to set up this 3rd rank defense like this. Ultimately, it has to be a defense where the pawn goes forward first so that you can check the king from behind and the king can't get any shelter. So this should be a book draw here. And I just stay on the 3rd rank here. And now I check the king from behind. He can't escape the checks. He can deliver checks. I can just go back and forth. It's important to be able to deliver those checks before his king comes forward. You have to be in position to start delivering checks when his king comes forward if it tries to. Okay, let's go with the checks now. So if I take and he takes and I go forward and he goes forward, it's my move. It's still a draw. I'm in front of the pawn. So that's the simplest draw. It's only a win if white is in front of the pawn. So you drop straight back. He's going to play this out to see if I know how to draw this. That's pretty silly. Here, I'll offer him a draw here. He wants to play it out. What an idiot. So any move, well, maybe he will admit that this is a draw. Okay, well, I'll upload this into a postmortem. See you guys later. Bye.